And Ukraine's president says troops have slowed Russia's advance in the eastern part of the country, but Ukrainians remain in a, quote, fight for life. This as humanitarian workers struggle to get civilians out of harm's way. And the Biden administration is trying to fast-track a $33 billion aid package through Congress. And to talk more about this, let's bring in retired U.S. Marine Colonel Mark Cancian. He's a senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies International Security Program. Colonel, thank you for joining us. The White House has stood firm in its support of Ukraine. What has the U.S. already contributed to help Ukrainian forces?
Well, the United States has provided a great deal of support to the Ukrainians from the beginning of the war. We provided aid packages. The initial aid packages were items that they could use very quickly because they were surviving day to day. So we sent munitions and uniforms and also the javelins and the stingers that people have heard about. Last couple of weeks, we've started sending major weapon systems, artillery, armored personnel carriers, and we've increased that level of support from about $50 million a day early on to about $100 million a day now.
So I ask you that because Congress is now considering a more than $33 billion aid proposal. What is in that package, and what would it mean for Ukraine and forces right now fighting on the ground?
Well, the package has a wide variety of items in it. It has military equipment. It has money for Ukraine to buy military equipment. There's money for our Eastern European allies to reimburse them for the Soviet-era equipment that they're providing. There's money for our own forces that are in Eastern Europe. There's also economic and humanitarian aid. Mm-hmm. The most noteworthy item about this package, though, is that it goes for 5 months. You know, previously we were having packages that went for 1 or 2 weeks, but this is an indication that the United States is going to support Ukraine for the long term, and that the war may go on for quite a while.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is this in a way a recognition that the conflict in Ukraine, the invasion in Ukraine, might last for a long, long time, at least longer than most people have thought?
Absolutely. I think in the beginning, people worried that Ukraine would fall quickly. And then after that, there was a lot of hope that some of the talks between Russia and Ukraine might bear fruit. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen. This new package goes for 5 months to the end of the fiscal year and indicates that this could go on for quite a while.
Under that scenario, if this conflict extends for longer, should the Biden administration start considering options for direct military intervention in that region?
I don't think direct military intervention. President Biden has been clear that he doesn't want to send U.S. troops, and Putin has made that a red line. But where I think the United States can take the next step is to provide contractors to help the Ukrainians take care of all this new equipment. We're sending howitzers and armored personnel carriers. The Germans are sending anti-aircraft tanks. The Canadians are sending equipment. The French are sending equipment. This is all equipment that the Ukrainians have never seen before. They have very skilled operators and maintainers, but it's very difficult to have this stuff arrive and then be able to operate it. I think that with contractors, they can take care of the equipment so the Ukrainians can focus on the operations. And then over time, many months, Ukrainians can pick up those functions.
Colonel Mark Cancian, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me on the show.